Doing jumping jacks.
Yeah, I mean, much love to GogojOey. He was. Wait, why didn't you? What are you on about? We had like a 10-minute break.
Yeah.
What were you doing?
Jumping jacks.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna get my blood pumping again, back to the brain. The blood that me and Mike just stole from me.
Oh god. Meanwhile, I did inject some caffeine. I am woke once again,
Ooh.
ready to get into another ZvZ.
Yeah, give us your G Fuel review after we see the result of this series. It will be a best of 3 as we are in the lower bracket finals. But we're starting things off on Submarine LE. We all live in the LE Submarine. The LE Submarine. The LE Submarine. Here in the top left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top left-hand corner. The blue Zerg player coming down for the land of Hong Kong. He is the best player from Hong Kong. So any team owners out there, give him a phone call or a Twitter DM or a Discord or an email, something, Telegram. And by Telegram, I don't mean like a Telegram message. I mean like a letter, something along those lines. Defeating his opponent earlier on. Can he do it again? He is GogojOey.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Submarine LE, we have another corner of that Zerg Muta triangle. He is, of course, Caviar, Napoleon, Marquises, Acampado. Wait, that wasn't even in my brain. It just flew out of the tongue. I didn't even know how I remembered that, mate. I just...
He charges in.
That he did. Can he get his revenge? Already lost against his opponent once this tournament, but he is back with a vengeance. It is EnDerr.
That gives me just such a great mental image in my mind. Of EnDerr like scarred and with an eye patch. I'm here for my revenge.
He is.
It's back of vengeance.
Oh boy. And will he get it is the big question again. GogojOey is such a solid player. We saw how GogojOey fared against EnDerr in the past. But, we have seen...
very same map.
The very same map. But we have seen how players over time, they can adapt quite quickly to how their opponent is playing. So maybe that is all the time that EnDerr needed.
Mayhaps so.
We probably should have.
We already have a good. We already have a good start here. EnDerr is not going 12 pool once again.
He's not. I was about to say we probably should have just like messaged EnDerr and be like, "Yo, what happened?"
Yeah, what happened? How did that game last almost half an hour long?
Yeah, fill us in. Give us the deets. Boy, because I mean, God knows. Only he knows what the hell happened there in that best of 1.
Exactly. Meal Mike is the only one who has the intel there.
Ooh, as EnDerr, he does sneak in with his 4 lings to get taken out, but 2 more do manage to get into that mineral line, force a little bit of lost fighting time, and gets a nice scout.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only most important thing going on here. GogojOey hasn't taken any tech just yet. Right now, he's throwing down his Roachborn by his natural base, but even just knowing that EnDerr knows that GogojOey's not going for anything too suspicious, out of the ordinary.
Speaking of suspicious, we do have a wave of lings on the way for EnDerr.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah, ling
6
speed.
+ 1?
Yeah, Link Speed is about to finish up, but you know what? Once again, I'm getting some deja vu here, by the way. GogojOey.
Same thing that happened.
Yeah, he has a full wall off at his natural. We got queens in the back to transfuse once they gather enough energy. Like, he's looking fine right now. Oh.
And we talked about the adaptability of somebody like EnDerr, but GogojOey, let's not forget that he is also kind of known for switching things up as the series progresses, adapting to his opponents as time goes on. He knew that this was what went wrong for him in the early game last time. He's preventing that from happening. He's preventing that from happening now.
Yeah, that he is, and this time, ooh, GogojOey does go for a massive swell of lanes to defend to push EnDerr back. Now he is looking to try and counterattack. Ooh, it could even get a surround on this queen.
He's looking to, but he goes for the hatchery instead. The queen is able to make it to the choke point, but there's no transfuse. There's no saving this hatchery.
Oh god, exactly. The hatchery does get focused down in the end. EnDerr gets knocked down to 2 bases. Ay, ay, ay.
The more things change,
the more they stay the same.
Dios mío.
Oh god. EnDerr, he's going across the map with all his links. He did make a wave of links. He does have a Baneling nest on the way as well. 20 more links on the way for EnDerr. Oh my god, he just wants to link Bane it up.
And GogojOey is looking to oblige him for now as he builds up his roach count back at home. EnDerr is getting some Banelings now, but GogojOey is about to get +1 Carapace. These are going to be tough links coming out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm a little bit worried for EnDerr here. He's going to be behind in these upgrades. The Banelings aren't going to do anywhere near as well as he would like against the links of GogojOey. Meanwhile, we do see the links of EnDerr are going for a counterattack, but there are plenty of roaches here. But are there enough? Like, this army is looking a little bit vulnerable, and it looks like it could get surrounded, but it does back off.
To deal with the rest of the links. Real good job of sniping these Banelings GogojOey's doing. And EnDerr a little bit flustered. There was an opportunity for him to surround the defensive army of GogojOey and try to force these links back, but yeah, instead he sent his entire army back to deal with the attacking links.
Oh my god, and this time he does get a surround on the queen. The queen will go down. The Banelings will get some connections, but due to that upgrade, it is not enough.
Never underestimate +1 Carapace. This hatchery will at least stay alive, but EnDerr was forced back multiple times when he tried to counter harass. He is not going to be able to get that damage he wants anymore.
No, he is not. But thankfully, EnDerr, he didn't neglect his tech. He did finish up his roach war, and he does have roaches on the way. Still doesn't have lair quite yet. Meanwhile, GogojOey's is already done. We do see even roach speed finishing up for GogojOey.
And we'll see if GogojOey decides to go for his timing attack now. He has the better upgrades, the much better upgrades, but I mean, you don't want to underestimate the defensive capability of somebody like EnDerr, especially when all of these links are out looking to take some of these isolated roaches out of commission.
Exactly. Oh boy, this is why, like, it's so risky for GogojOey to push out with his roaches. Again, at any moment he could be surrounded by the lings of EnDerr, so he really does have to respect that. Instead, he only moves out with his lings. But likewise, he has to be careful not to be caught out by the lings of EnDerr. EnDerr so on point with his own link control. And behind this, oh my god, another massive wave of lings on the way for EnDerr.
He made a handful of roaches and then none whatsoever. I kind of like this, if I'm being honest with you. Like, he knows that he can't quite catch up on the roach count, so might as well try to force a couple of gaps, right, in the lines of GogojOey, slip those links in, and yeah, just try to surround them. Or go for a massive Baneling connection to soften them up.
Oh my god. I mean, normally Banelings don't do well against roaches, but this many Banelings could turn the tide of the battle.
They absolutely could, and it's not like EnDerr is going pure Ling Bane here. He still has the roaches looking to clean up whatever weakened roaches there are. He forces a split, and that allows the Lings to get their surrounds. The roaches are body blocked right now for GogojOey. Finally, he comes forward, and he started to surround EnDerr, but that was beautiful.
That it was, but you know what? That surround is even looking better for GogojOey as he gets a beautiful surround on the roaches of EnDerr and just cleans everything up.
GG immediately. I am not surprised with that one. That was perhaps the best engage or the best attack that EnDerr could have really gone for at that point, but GogojOey with the defenses, with the massive flank, with the upgrade advantage, there was not a whole lot EnDerr could have done. He needed to wipe out half of GogojOey's army at the very start of that fight if he ever had, in order to have a chance of continuing. But fortunately, GogojOey hung on long enough, got his flank in order, took EnDerr out.
Yeah. That he did, as it looks like we are getting ready to jump into Oxide for map number 2. Honestly, as I was seeing the end of that game unfold, and as I saw all those banelings morph in for EnDerr, I thought that EnDerr was going to like change my mind on things. Normally, I'd be like, "Yo, what are banelings gonna really do in this position? Like, you don't want banelings against roaches." Change my mind, and I thought he was going to do so, but he didn't. He just
he almost did, honestly. He almost really did. Even before getting any connections, he almost he did force a split coming up, and that just allowed the roaches of GogojOey to get surrounded by the lings of EnDerr.
Yeah. I mean, and the surround on the lings were okay, but the problem was there weren't that many lings, to be honest. And maybe those banelings would have been better off as lings. It's hard to say, to be honest. In the end, regardless of the matter, GogojOey was able to defend, he was able to hold on, and as a result, he does take the lead in this series.
Dominant fashion, too. I was hoping we get to see an EnDerr Miomaika rematch this week, but GogojOey really making it tough for EnDerr.
Yeah. That he is, and we will see if EnDerr can bring it back here. This will be his last chance, right? You know, this is it for EnDerr. If he loses here, there is no lower bracket, right? This is his final lifeline.
Imagine if there was a lower bracket.
That sounds insane. That sounds like a straight up old school MLG format right there. Like, got it. Oh boy.
Is MLG still a thing? Now I think about it.
Maybe.
It's gotta be, right?
I remember they sold a bunch of their like venues and offices to Blizzard back in the day. You know what? I
imagine for like Halo and stuff, it might still be around.
I would imagine it's still around for like Call of Duty. I remember Call of Duty was big on MLG.
That's where all the memes came from.
But I don't know. Okay, it looks like it. It looks like it's still a thing. It's still a thing.
All right.
Maybe.
It definitely feels like ESL has really taken over that, and most companies just have their in-house sort of what's it called system. Anyway, enough about Halo. We are now on Oxide LE. We're spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. The blue Zerg player coming down from the land of Hong Kong. He is the best player to come out of Hong Kong. He is representing himself. Someone pick him up, like on your shoulders or something or another. He is GogojOey.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the Filipino Zerg player. He is red. He is representing his country. His team on Liab Esports. It is EnDerr. His last chance.
So one shot.
One opportunity.
I don't remember the lyrics.
We let it slip.
We let it slip.
I don't remember the next line. He
is Slim Caviar.
What? That's not that song. That's a different song. That's oh god. I miss Milk in our pre-stream voice checks.
Rap battles.
Yeah. AKA rap battles.
Yeah.
What?
Is that how it goes usually?
What? Oh god. Yeah.
Listen, I know the duet.
Sure. No. That's it, mate. Making his way downtown.
Walking fast. Metabolic boost is on the way, and he's something.
Yeah.
Control bound.
What are you're falling apart, mate. I don't know what you're on. Oh god. As so far, there's nothing too crazy. There were no early pulls, there were no early gases. Everything so far has been pretty straight up, as EnDerr is taking his third, and so is GogojOey.
Yeah, I'm honestly a little surprised GogojOey decided not to be a little more active. He is ahead in this series. He's got that +1 advantage. He can't afford to take risks here, but yeah, might as well not let it slip away from him, right? Might as well not just put himself at an inopportune position for EnDerr to come back in and potentially reverse sweep.
Yeah. So it does make a little sense. It's pretty interesting that both players are opting to do so, right? Like, it makes sense that EnDerr is playing this a lot more standard, a lot more safe. I say that, he's banking up a lot of links.
Yep, and the Baneling Nest is about halfway done.
Oh, that it is. Meanwhile, at the same time, GogojOey made his own wave of links, looking to try and deny that third base, but they do meet the links of EnDerr. He is forced back.
That's the biggest Uno first card move I think I've ever seen lately.
Oh god, and with this massive wave of links, EnDerr is looking to try and take out the third base, if not just, maybe even end the game. But a nice round on the links. He goes for the kill. He tries to get us around on the queens, but is unable to.
I'd much rather make sure that he's in a better, safer position to really leverage himself. The Baneling Nest is finished up, but EnDerr actually doesn't have a lot of gas.
Oh,
so you have 4 Banelings, but they're really far away.
That they are, but you know what? The Lings of EnDerr do take out one of the queens. The Banelings are about to finish up. Oh god, GogojOey, no!
They finished right on top! Oh, just a second too soon. Or just a second too late, depending on your point of view.
Oh god, exactly. And it looks like the hatchery will go down. The Banelings do get some juicy connections on the Lings of GogojOey.
And that's all EnDerr really needed. He's not going to be able to end the game like he wanted to, but he's already taken such an economic advantage. He's actually continuing to make lings. He is not droning up that third base.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised, and to be fair, this makes sense because GogojOey is forced to counterattack. He is forced to make something happen with his roaches. He has not retaken his third base quite yet, so he needs to make something happen with these roaches, and there are plenty of lings to meet them.
One good surround. That's all GogojOey really needs to completely, or EnDerr, sorry, to completely erase GogojOey's army. EnDerr is being even more aggressive than GogojOey typically is. Jesus, God. Immediately surrounds the roaches, not quite able to get to that critical mass yet. GogojOey isn't. And these Banelings just waddle on forward, no care in the world.
Yeah,
taking out the lings as they come forth.
And
every through the wall.
Yeah, and every single roach does go down. The wall falls as well. And EnDerr, he's looking to maybe try and tie up the series. He gets us around to the queens.
And that was one transfuse too late. And they're taking so much more momentum here. Will he bring it all the way back home? GogojOey, he's got a lot of inertia on his hands thanks to those roaches. So we're getting a lot tougher for EnDerr to just close this out. But again, EnDerr doesn't really need to close it out yet. He's got the base advantage. He is starting to get his tech back up and running. GogojOey is still pretty far ahead in that regard.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where honestly, EnDerr, he's backing off and he's droning up. He's starting to take that, or trying to solidify his lead here. I do think that if EnDerr kept trying to brute force his way through the natural, it's possible that GogojOey would have gotten back into the game and, just ended the series. Or, yeah, like, so EnDerr, he doesn't want to risk things too much. He does back off. He is droning up. He still has plenty of links here to just contain his opponent to 2 bases. And now it's on GogojOey. Like, what is your plan here, GogojOey? Like, there's still no lair. There's no third. What does he do?
I am getting some massive deja vu vibes here, Light. To recall, game number 1 on Submarine in the series they played earlier on, exact same thing happened here, Light. EnDerr contained GogojOey for the longest time on 2 bases. Then GogojOey just banked up enough roaches to break out, get his third base up and running, and utilize his one good engagement and really take control of the game until he won.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did, and it's possible that it could happen again, but EnDerr, he's looking to make sure he doesn't make that mistake two times in a single tournament. As he is making his own roaches, he is looking to try and push in and deny the third once again.
Honestly, this time, EnDerr's upgrades aren't too far behind from GogojOey's.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, GogojOey's, he does have a little bit of a lead here, so maybe he'll make something happen. I do believe he does have the roach advantage, but he doesn't have the links.
Immediately they get surrounded, and this is what I like to see, Light, biling down all of these roaches that have nowhere left to go. They are so softened up right now. But EnDerr still has to be careful. GogojOey has a couple of queens here. He has the defender's advantage. Finally, their upgrades will even out. But it feels like EnDerr just pulled the trigger a little too quickly. Imagine if he had those upgrades, or if he evened out the upgrades while the whole fight was going down.
Yeah, exactly. EnDerr, he was trying to press his advantage and take out that third base once again, but it looked like GogojOey, his defenses were too solid. Sure, GogojOey got surrounded, and sure, he took a lot of biles to the face, but didn't matter in the end. You know, he had plenty of roaches to defend. He was able to push EnDerr back home, and as a result, GogojOey gets his third.
Yeah, it's still going to take a while for him to saturate that. EnDerr has a very healthy drone lead, but at the very least, GogojOey is still in this game.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, by no means is he winning at the moment. By no means does he have a lead, but like, he has been able to survive. And he does have defender's advantage, as you said. He is down currently in terms of army supply, and honestly, this is quite scary.
This is yeah. But EnDerr actually has a decent chunk of his army still back at home. He needs to regroup in order to really take this. GogojOey trying to utilize that choke point as best he can. EnDerr actually coming in with a flank of Lings. Or just going straight for the natural base.
Yeah, he tries to anyway, but he does get denied. Meanwhile, the Lings are getting a nice surround. He does come in from behind, surrounds the roaches of GogojOey. The Ravager does fall. GogojOey, oh my god, the reinforcements of EnDerr are coming in.
From 3 different angles, Light. I just realized EnDerr does have Goliath Constitution, but he has enough roaches here to keep this fight going while the reinforcements come in, and this is going to be it. EnDerr, he's going to even up the series. We are finally going to be having our ace match against these 2 players.
Yeah, are we? I mean, the reinforcements are coming out for GogojOey, and he's trying to hold on, but the constant rally of EnDerr does seem to be too much here. And honestly, I feel like this is fitting here. Like, EnDerr, he needed to put a point on the board against GogojOey. Finally, he's able to do so. He is getting his vengeance here. Looks like he will finally tie up this series, and oh boy, maybe that series against Demi was all he needed.
It might have been. GG is called, and we're going to our ace match. Which player is going up against Miyomika? We'll find out.
Oh boy, that he will. Part of me wants GogojOey to move on just so we see like another weird fun matchup
yeah.
where they don't necessarily play their main races, but at the same time, like, EnDerr, like, he qualified for G Fuel Pink Drip Pylon, you know, last week. He's been doing so well recently. I do want to see him have another crack at Miyomika,
and I'm sure Miyomika does too.
Mm-hmm.
There's a long list of rematches against Miyomika here. I think EnDerr just got bumped to the Fernet queue.
Oh yeah.
Because the other players that are waiting are Cham and Nina. I think are the 2 big names, but I'm sure there are others.
Cham, Nina. You know who's been waiting for a long time? Maru.
You know what? I'm sure he has. Sure, it keeps Maru up at night.
It does. He wakes up in a cold sweat.
He's like, I've won all these championships, but for what? haven't been able to beat Mio Micah.
Just hasn't happened.
Shaking my head.
You know who has a similar feeling? Cure.
Cure. Wait, Cure against whom? No.
Joey.
I remember that now. But speaking of remembering, here we are on Pills of Gold LE, where we remember the rest of the maps in the current map pool that are being held up by this map, also LE. We're in the bottom left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. The blue Zerg player coming down from the land of Hong Kong, the best player to come out of Hong Kong. Come on, team owners, come on.
Come on.
I make you an offer you can't refuse here, Sushi.
What
He
offer?
is GogojOey. I'll give him one of my shirts for free.
Oh god, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Pills of Gold LE, we have the Filipino Zerg player. He is red, representing Team Lab Esports, finally putting a point on the board against his opponent, something he hasn't been able to do in quite some time. But here he is. It is EnDerr.
And quickly, while we have time at the start of this game, thank you very much, Phoenix, for the 18-month resub. And we're doing these quacks.
Quack, 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 quack.
6. That's 12.
Quack, quack, quack.
Quack?
Ah, there you go.
No, wait, I think that's 16. No, wait, 12.
No, 12 plus 3.
6. Wait, 12 plus...
Yeah.
18! Yeah, there we go.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Yes, thank you so much, Phoenix, one of the OGs on the channel. Really interesting story with Phoenix. You know, he's one of the few now regular Cranky Ducklings members who wasn't one of the OG crank subs.
Yeah? I think officially he's not even a member of Cranky, but you know, he helps us out quite a lot. So
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Where's that selfie, Phoenix? Fun fact, he has a jersey.
you sent him a jersey.
God damn it.
It's a mage head. Listen, der Deutsch Gott doesn't have time for our mortal teams.
Doesn't have time for duck faces, mate.
Exactly.
Unfortunately.
Too busy building trains or something. Factorio. That's how I remembered it.
Shaking my head. Shaking my head. But here we go. We are in the ace match. EnDerr once again applying a little bit of pressure with these lings, but he does get forced back by GogojOey, and so far things are looking pretty similar to game number 2. Both players expanding, taking their thirds. Both players, or this time, both players going for their Bailey nests.
All right. GogojOey definitely taken the lesson from that previous game. EnDerr has pretty consistently done this Ling Flood to deny that third base. This is something that GogojOey definitely needs to aid in his defense, but he needs to get him soon.
Exactly, and we see it. 2 Bailings already on the way, so if EnDerr does go for another Ling Flood, this time GogojOey will be prepared for them. Well, I say prepared. He has the tools, but he has to make sure he gets those connections.
And not an ideal connection there already. That was 50% of the Bailings of GogojOey being taken out by only a single Ling.
And he needed them for this massive Ling Flood, and not as massive as the previous game, but they are going across the map. I believe GogojOey did spot them with his Lings. He confirms them with his Overlords. He only has 1 Bailing for now. Oh god!
Splits off right at the very end. Still a lot more Lings connecting than I'm sure EnDerr would have liked, but could have been a lot worse. EnDerr, meanwhile, cancels the Banelings of GogojOey. These Lings are going to be harassing this base uncontested.
I don't know what happened in that series versus Demi, but EnDerr is just turning it on. He's upset. He's angry. He's unsatisfied with his previous series against GogojOey, and now with he has traded so well. He's killed a queen, killed a couple of lings, chipped away at this hatchery. It is so vulnerable to another attack. Speaking of,
took a shark tooth necklace just for good luck, and it's paying off. Okay, the banelings are still here for GogojOey. That's massive risk. EnDerr was taken, but it actually kind of paid off.
Ooh. Oh boy, meanwhile, nice target fire there by the queen of GogojOey. The baneling of EnDerr was focused down before any kind of juicy connection did go off, but EnDerr did sneak into the main base, did get a nice scout, was able to kill a drone.
Yeah, and it's not massive damage. It's a lot less damage than EnDerr would have liked to have gotten, but he gets a pretty good scout. He is pretty far behind economically, though, and that's kind of the weakness of the style that EnDerr's been going for. He needs to do a lot of damage early on, otherwise he's just going to be perpetually playing catch-up.
Exactly. I mean, to be fair, enough damage has been done where both players have got their third bases, both players have around the same amount of workers, but what is scary is the layers that are on the way for both players. GogojOey does have a bit of a lead, he does have all of his gases, could be poised to go into mutas.
But we shall see. GogojOey not straying too far from the ground. Still emphasizing the roaches this game.
Oh, that he is. Meanwhile, he gets a nice round on the queen. The queen does go down. Oh, bit of a blunder there with that manual detonation on the baneling. Up.
I just realized that's what that was. Pretty nice splits coming out from GogojOey, almost getting queen, but trading very efficiently against the banelings.
That he is. Both players just going blow for blow, and both players opting to go for spires.
Wowee.
Mate, something happened, but
I feel like EnDerr's going to be a bit more committed to them. No, actually. Maybe. He is still going to be finishing up his +1 range, but I doubt he's going to go for +2 the way GogojOey is.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I feel like EnDerr, he's just like somehow synced up. He's on the same wavelength of GogojOey right now, and they're both just going for the same thing. The problem is that it does seem like GogojOey is a little bit ahead. You know, he does have a slight lead in workers, he has a lead in these upgrades, and his spire is that little bit faster.
They'll be able to get a lot more out a lot quicker. That said, EnDerr is going for Galactic Constitution faster than GogojOey will. He's going to be able to take map control on the ground, but it's real the skies that I feel are going to determine how this game goes.
They definitely can. And sure, like when it comes to Galactic Constitution, it's great for attacking, but it doesn't matter too much when it comes to defending. So GogojOey, if he is, you know, focusing on the defense, focusing on his roaches back at home, he should be perfectly fine against the roaches of EnDerr. As here we go, the mutas are on the way for both players.
EnDerr actually taking a little bit of a lead early on, and when was the last time we saw just straight up muta versus mutalite?
God, maybe a month, maybe two. It's something that we don't get enough of, I will say. It's always great when we finally do get it, and we'll see how this turns out for both players, as I believe EnDerr wasn't able to scout the spire, so he's not 100% sure, but now he is.
And he's grabbing that Hydra Den. I'm pretty sure he got it earlier on just to be safe in case GogojOey went for this Mutalisk style. But it's going to pay off anyway. This is not the best angle to attack if you're GogojOey. He is just donating roaches into that concave. Jeez.
Mate, he just sent all of his roaches into a meat grinder, mate. Oh, God.
He lost 22 roaches, and I feel like he didn't need to lose at least 20 of them.
Exactly, like he didn't have to attack whatsoever. To be fair, like he himself wasn't completely sure about the mutas, but he just felt the need to just commit to this big attack across the map. He achieved, and he achieved nothing with it. Oh, God.
Now EnDerr's about to be even in terms of the upgrades. These roaches are gonna have a little bit of trouble here with the Mutalisk, but it's forcing a couple of these roaches out of position at the very least. They break on through the wall, and they are forcing the entire army of GogojOey back. Meanwhile, EnDerr's Mutalisk wreaking havoc at that third.
Yeah, that they are. At the same time, GogojOey is going for a bit of a Bane run by, but it does get cleaned up. Not the best connections there. I mean, sure, 6 drones did go down, but he himself is losing 5 workers. Not just workers, but even roaches here. Potentially even the base, as it's low from earlier.
But EnDerr does not want to go too far into that. GogojOey's roaches, I will say, they're actually paying off quite a bit. They have been taking a lot of damage from these Weirdlists, and they're a pretty tough unit, so they're still alive. GogojOey still has a very healthy army advantage. And EnDerr did a little bit of economic damage here and there, killed a few more drones than he lost, but it's nothing too game-changing. It's not a secure economic advantage.
Yeah, like EnDerr, he does have a big lead in terms of the economy, but at the same time, GogojOey, he's on 4 hatcheries, just like his opponents. Like, it's not the worst scenario for him, as long as he's able to clean this up without taking too many losses. Like, God, the Lings, somehow, some way, they get into the main, pick off another drone.
Slippery.
Looped up.
Shoop.
Straight reef. We didn't get to cast. We didn't get to cast Beastork today. It feels bad, man.
It feels bad. Really feels bad. Unfortunate. Here comes another massive engagement. I think EnDerr's +2 flyers just finished up. No, he canceled it. But it doesn't really matter in the end. He is still taking this engagement very handily. Look at that. GogojOey went from having a slight army advantage to being half the army supply, and EnDerr will have his rematch against Miomaika. GG.
Wow.
Oh, I'm excited.
For the first time in a long time, EnDerr, Caviar Napoleon Marquises Acampado, he will be facing Miomaika in the grand finals. It is not Mio versus GogojOey.
I think this is his first ever GPO finals too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It is EnDerr's debut here in the finals. My God. And can he? It isn't quite a royal road, unfortunately, as this isn't his first GPO. But we'll see. We'll see if he's able to make it happen. If he's able to just turn it on and take the championship.
Well, he's got his G Fuel. He took a shark out from Demi. Now he's wearing it across his neck as a good luck charm. It's coming from Mio, and he did beat Miomaika last week. I believe it was. I don't remember the score, but he did beat Miomaika just last week in the G Fuel qualifiers.